Spartan Nation, what's going on? Cue the woodshed. Ken, the super cool Spartan. Here, my brother Brian, the super mad Spartan, coming at you, talking about strictly the MSU Boston College game. Man, that talk about a roller coaster of emotions, boy.
Up and down, side to side, round and round.
Right. It was like riding on the corkscrew along with Millennium Force all the way to all those old school and new school Cedar Point rides. I mean, we was all over the place. We was all over the place, boy. And I gotta tell you something, Brian, that I was acting like you on TikTok with the instant reactions. I was playing your role of Super Mad Spartan because I was just all over the place. I mean, it was not pretty.
It's very funny. I wasn't getting mad, and there's a few plays that a few things I kind of blew up about, like big moments, because every moment felt big for the game.
Right.
I know there's some earlier this week, past weekend, saying this is a big game, must win for Michigan State. It kind of felt like, this is a very important test for Jonathan Smith and the Fighting Spartans. Like, are we going to take the next step? It's not the biggest step, but it's a step forward. You have to beat this team you should have beat last year at home. And we did.
Right. We did. I mean, that's the biggest takeaway, that, great double OT thriller. Spartans win 42-40. And it was a big stepping stone for MSU, to get that W, because I think that, and it was teetering to a loss. And, I was thinking as I was watching the game that, is the fan base going to lean towards apathy, or are we going to lean towards, okay, we took a big step forward. Now,
No.
we're going to chop it up about some of the things, that we saw, good Sparty, bad Sparty.
It was trending towards apathy at halftime.
Yes, it was
Spartan
like
Nation was ready to implode and launch people out of a cannon.
Yes.
I wasn't quite there, but trust me, you can't lose. You couldn't lose this game. That was my thought the whole time.
Right.
Like, they just can't lose this game. Like, there's nothing else needs to be said. I don't know how. I don't care how they do it. It has to be victory for MSU. And that's it. That's all.
Right.
If you don't go 3-0, our bowl chances start looking very slim, because there's a lot of toss-up games. Because a lot of teams
for
that
sure
we think are middle of the pack, they're upper echelon. Illinois is trending to be like the fourth best team in the Big Ten, possibly.
Yes.
That's not going to be an easy game. Indiana, not an easy game.
Right.
There's no real throwaway easy games left, except probably Youngstown State. But we'll talk about them later this week. But right now,
we'll get to it later this week.
Must win.
Yes.
Team delivered.
Right. Right now we're bathing in a sea of green and white. So let's just get into it. Our good Sparty, bad Sparty, brought to you by Super Q the Woodshed, the super cool Spartan, and the super mad Spartan. And let's just start with the good, man. I mean, Aiden Childs.
No. Let's get the bad out the way. Let's get the bad.
Oh, you want to do the bad?
Let's get the bad.
Bad? Okay. Let's do the bad first.
We want to get it out of the way.
We want to end the show on a good note.
We
want to end it on a high note. Let's end it on a high note. Okay, cool. I'll say we're going to do the switcheroo. We're going to do bad Sparty. And if y'all want to see my my super mad Spartan posts, please go to TikTok and Instagram, because it was looking pretty bad. And I had to be calmed down a little bit. I mean, I ain't gonna say a little bit. I had to be calmed down a lot, because I definitely had that mad screw face a lot. That mad, the expletive emoji face. I had that quite a bit. Let's just start with the defense. I mean, giving up
Yeah.
40 points. Uh,
Well, okay. Yeah. Well, yes, 40 points technically with the overtimes. But this is a bad Sparty, but there's something about the defense that could go into good Sparty later on. But yeah, it not the best of showing. I'll call it gutsy, but not the
yes,
best of showing in terms of some things by the defense.
right. Well, they didn't get any sacks. They got 0 sacks. They couldn't get to the quarterback. He threw out for almost 400 yards, and the blown coverages, especially on two of those touchdowns, in the red zone.
Yes.
And you can see it on, because you can see the frustration on their faces because, when they replayed it, the guys who was calling the game is like, okay, where in the hell? I mean, where's all this green in the background here? Like what happened?
When it the game started off great. We get the 3-and-out on defense, and we're thinking, okay, defense looks like they can do a little something. And to carry a bad Sparty, no, the pass rush wasn't where we needed to be at. And I understand that the quarterback was it Lundgren, I think it says. He
Yeah.
had a great game. He was dealing, and he was getting the ball out really fast. Because I watched the game back. Cause I went to the games, so the perspective from the game and then seeing it on TV and like them confirming what you're seeing with your eyes. He was getting the ball out 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds at the max, and so there was a lot to get in the pass rush. But still, there are times that he's holding the ball back there, doing his taxes, combing his hair, texting his girl, like I said before, and it didn't disrupt him. But we saw a little bit. Anytime they got a little bit of pressure, or they forced him to come out the pocket, he was inaccurate. So I wish we could have done
hmm
that more and got to the quarterback. But that was the biggest takeaway from the game was biggest takeaway that for bad Sparty was the pass rush was not where it needed to be at.
Yes, yeah. Compared to what we saw from Western, where they were able to get into the backfield, and maybe it just shows, when you play an opponent that kind of is eye to eye with you, toe to toe with you. Yeah, definitely needs some work with that pass rush because we were not able to get back there this time around. Not able to get
No,
back
not
there.
not. They kind of had a maybe no near the end at least. Uh, and this will go to more of the good Sparty part of it. The defense did make plays when it was imperative that they needed to make a play. Because as bad as the first half
Yes.
was for the defense, and since we only, I don't know if you have anything else bad besides. Well, okay, there's one more thing a little bit bad we can talk about, but the defense bowled up when it needed to. But in terms of okay, what another bad Sparty? Sometimes the pass protection has not been as clean out as I would like it for Aiden Childs. You were still kind of
Yeah, I
struggling
can agree
in
with
pass
that.
blocking. Like it wasn't like completely horrendous, but there were chances to win the game if we just get to Childs needed an extra second. And I know people say, oh, he took the sack, he did this, he did that. Okay, Aiden Childs got sacked, but he needs to be able to be comfortable back there. And I don't say he was completely uncomfortable, but there's enough pressure uh, to affect the game on Aiden Childs. So we'll see what Boston College is going forward. Are they better than they? I think they're better than what I thought they were going to be. Straight up, I
Yeah,
don't
me
think they're
too.
going to
I
be
agree
like
with that.
I don't think they're going to be like garbage or anything. But my expectation was, all right, they're going to be a lesser version as they were last year. And I thought that our team is better than they were last year, so we should be better than Boston College. These teams are kind of they're neck and neck. Not
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
as we talked about in the preview show. Teams are gonna have to win on the margins. Like
yeah,
these little combination of complementary football is going to be needed to win. And no team, I don't think Boston College is that much better than Michigan State. I don't think Michigan State's that much better than Boston College. So everything matters.
yeah, yeah. I think that the game was pretty even. I think, like I said, Boston College and Michigan State are even teams. They're both at that same level. So I think it was a test for both teams. So I think probably
Yes.
for both fan bases, everyone was on their pins and needles because they were
Two
evenly matched
points.
for the most part. Right,
Two
right.
points, and we could win the
And
victory. Like it.
right, this game came down to who could stop who. When when it came down to it, in those critical moments, and who could make those critical plays down the stretch. And luckily, we were able to. On defense, we was able to stop them on that 2-point conversion. And when we got the ball back, our team delivered.
Yes.
And it was, I'm glad to see, we're all glad to see that we were able to, deliver when it came down to it. And, your point about the offensive line, they did mention, I believe it was maybe in like third or fourth quarter, how they were still doing the offensive
Rotations.
line shuffle like they were doing
I
in Western, still trying to find their best 5 to 7 guys. Now I'm like, well,
you know
is
what
this
I
the game you still want to kind of rotate like that? I mean, to your point, I mean, it was razor thin with the margins. Do you still want to do the quarterback shuffle,
O
and a
line
game like
shuffle.
that?
I don't. They have earned another week of trust, the coaching staff, so I'll allow it because I don't understand it. But this is my my best guess. Only thing that can make sense to me is that this coaching staff has a plan and they're going to stick to that plan when it goes to the offensive line. They're going to get people trained up. They're going to get everybody experience until okay, this is our starters. We know they're good. Hey, okay, if someone goes down, we know this guy doesn't do this particular thing pretty well, so we're not going to call those plays if this person gets injured and this guy has to take his place. So maybe that's just the coaching staff's way of learning their players, better their personnel. Is it frustrating when I feel like it leads to a few throwaway possessions? Yes. But also, if it works out, if their plan works out, it makes the team stronger going forward. So that's my only hope. It's something that I'm making up in my mind that could be complete BS. But I think that makes the most sense because I don't think Jonathan Smith and his coaching staff, I don't think they're morons. I think they take football seriously. And, we can parlay this into the good Sparty now since, there's only like the biggest bad takeaways I had of the game was just it's the offensive line, pass protection not being where I think it should be, and the pass rush not being where it needs to be. Because I think we can still win games with a serviceable pass protection, but with not getting to the passer, that could lose us some games.
Yes.
But
One more bad party I'll mention too is getting penalties in key moments. Such as I think it was Stanton Ramil, I believe,
got a touchdown taken
who
off the
had that.
board.
Yeah, yeah,
Didn't even need to
that
hold the
one,
guy.
and then there was one on the defense where I think they had a 3-and-out, but there was
Roughing the passer.
roughing the passer, I think, by Jordan
Jordan
Hall, I think
Hall.
his name
I
is.
think that play
That
it
one
didn't
was,
seem.
yeah.
I didn't like that call.
I don't
The
like that
refs,
call either.
as usual in college, they struggled a little bit. There were some horrendous calls on both sides. And I think it evened out, but they are inconsistent with the pass interference. They're inconsistent with some of the holds that were not called on both sides. So
Oh yeah.
they and because the game is so tight, because they're evenly matched teams, those are the margins. Like those are some penalties are drive killers, touchdown killers, and having on
Yeah.
both sides. So yeah, I think overall the penalties are better. But one thing that maybe looking forward, there have been most of the penalties aren't taking place during offense defense. There's been a lot of special teams penalties, like holdings that
Mm-hmm.
has to stop.
Right. Right. But to your point, I won't say. I mean, other than the one on the offensive line that took off the touchdown off the board, I guess I would consider penalties. I maybe even Sparty because you said, it was horrible on both sides. So
Yes,
we'll
there's some
call that
calls
even
that
Sparty.
all right. So egregious call that happened in favor of Michigan State. What was it? I think Childs scrambles out and he gets a big first down run, and they call a 15-yard penalty on Boston College for the guy's helmet, him playing with his helmet off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his
Now
helmet was off because
that
the
was a
offensive
bad
lineman
call.
from Michigan State ripped it off.
Ripped it off.
so,
Right. Yeah,
so
that
yeah, that was a terrible call.
yeah,
And
that call was
I can admit it,
horrendous.
yeah, and it helped State out. I think
Yeah.
we scored a touchdown on that drive, but yeah, it was a horrible call.
Yeah. That's probably that was probably the most terrible call of all the game. Because I never seen that. I mean, like you said, we're in our favor, but I've never seen an O lineman rip off a D lineman's helmet, and the D lineman gets called for a rough. Like what?
He gets
A
hard for
personal
the penalty.
foul.
Yeah, because you can't, once your helmet comes off, you're supposed to be out of the play. But he like runs towards, shows trying to make a tackle. I'm like, yeah, but let's not ignore that it should have been hands to the face. But okay, it happened in our favor. But anyway, we move forward.
Right. Let's talk good Sparty. Let's get to the good
Yes.
Sparty, boy, because there's a lot of good. Such as Aiden Childs not throwing any interceptions. He threw 0 picks.
Being at the game.
That should make the fan base.
Gonna be at the game. You know, the student section is very much in Aiden Childs. Aiden Childs. They were into it. They're the students are much more on his side than some of these message board warriors I've been seeing. You know, at halftime there was literally another thread on my favorite message boards, 247. Well, Aiden Childs sucks again. Like he sucks, and I posted in there. You know, if you really think that the reason we're going, this is halftime. Going to halftime down is because of Aiden Childs. I don't know what else we can even talk about. Like, was he the best maximized? No, he wasn't. But he was far from the problem. The biggest problem in the first half was the defense not getting off the field and giving up 21 points, and it could have been more.
Right.
And the offense, okay, they could have been way more plays in offense. But the biggest takeaway was the defense needs to do something. And credit the defense. I go this to the good Sparty. I know the ending score is 40 points. But in the end of regulation in the second half, the defense only gave up 2 field goals for scores.
Right.
So there was an adjustment there. So we have to talk about another good Sparty on my term, the coaching staff making adjustments. People complain, hey, they don't make adjustments. They don't know what they're doing. The coaching staff adjusted. The defense, they didn't get to the quarterback, but I don't think it's for a lack of trying. Those kids are playing their butts off. And there are so many effort plays made by just one guy doing a little bit more to make the play. Doing their job within the context of the defense to make the play. And it happened continually. As much as there are mistakes on defense, every time someone who made a mistake on defense, later on in the game, they made a play.
True.
And that has to come. That's from the coaching staff. That's them. Hey, we're going to move forward. Jordan Hall, 15 tackles. He got beat in coverage a few times. He made a bunch of plays more positive than getting beat on negative. Coverages. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Marion Smith, it looks like they had some communication issues with the safeties. He comes up with a huge play to stop the 2-point conversion. Because I'm thinking like, well, we haven't stopped them all game. You know? To defensive credit on that play, they go back. Coverage is tight across the board. Lunkin has to make a perfect throw. And Marion Smith is right there to knock the ball away past deflection. That's huge.
Right.
And since I'm just rattling off now, I'm talking about strictly the defense just to give them their flowers. One of the best things that helped the defense is having an amazing punter like Ryan Eckley.
Ooh,
he kept dropping that ball in the 20-yard line, 5-yard line, 5-yard line, and that was
1-yard line
drives. That was killing their drives.
Yes.
So all those combinations with defense, dare I say, Michigan State played complimentary football yesterday.
Yes, they did. They did big time. And yeah, as much as we talked about the defense and bad Sparty, the good Sparty is, like you said, they showed up when they needed to show up. I mean, they took accountability for their mishaps in the first half. And yeah, they couldn't get to the quarterback in the second half, but when they needed to make plays down the stretch, they made them. So
Like
to
knocking
me,
passes down,
that makes up
defensive
for it.
line
Right.
get a sack, getting your hands up, knocking the ball down. I did that at least twice. So like those things, all those plays mattered immensely.
Right. And one thing they mentioned during the game, which I didn't know, is that the quarterback, he was an Alabama. He was an Alabama
Yeah,
kid. I mean, he was on that team. And they mentioned that Jonathan Smith had spoke to Kalen DeBoer because he was, on a quarterback under on that team, backing up, I guess, Jalen Milroe, and I guess maybe the guy who's the QB number one now for Alabama.
he was dealing.
So
He was
yeah, he
definitely making
was.
some plays. Like I know we're putting a lot of onus on the pass rush, but he was getting the ball a lot quicker. He was very mostly accurate. So
Yeah, he was.
I'll say it again. All praise to the Eagles. Their team was a lot better than I thought they were going to be, and it was a heck of a game.
It was. It was. Mad respect to
Glad
them.
we
I
won
mean,
though.
right. We got our revenge. This is the first revenge game that we got in the win column from last year, because there are a couple teams that we lost to last year that I have marked on the schedule for revenge games.
Like
Just for
this was
from
the this. I think
fan
this
for
one.
fan fanatic purposes.
Yes, I think this one just meant it just meant so much for the program because, like I said, fan base was definitely teetering towards complete apathy. This loss, and it's going to take I know it's. I'm not to disrespect Boston College. It's just Boston College. We're mid tier teams right now, but it felt like
hmm
such a huge step forward with everything you've been wanting to see from the coaching staff, from Aiden Childs to the receivers we've been hearing about. Everything that we kind of hoped would be better in these first couple games has been better,
It has.
minus the pass rush.
And
That's
right. And we scored a lot in the second half, because
13
that was
points.
one of the main sticking points, was that we could not score in the second half. Going back to last week's game and at the end of last season. So shout out to the offense, man. I mean, we had to put up points in the second half all the way through the second overtime.
We could have put the game away. And that's the next step for this team. Putting that game away. No penalties,
Right,
score that touchdown, and that's ball game.
right,
Because as much
right,
as we talk about the defense, we made the Eagles work for it. You're going to take a 9-play, 10-play drive. You're not going to just get a bomb down on the field on us and kill shot us. No, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to execute to beat the defense. They
right,
work on that pass rush, but
right.
I can't. We got to talk about Aiden Childs some more and the receivers, specifically Nick Marsh and Amari Kelly. Now, Amari Kelly
Woo,
he
boy.
had a tough first half. I
Yeah, mad
As
tough.
the mad Sparty as I was in the stadium, I was saying it might be time to sit him down for a few series because he had the fumble that could have led to points for a Boston College. But
BC.
when the Hall comes through and gets the fumble and Marshall picks it up, we get the touchback. Okay, we in business. Let's go. And then after that, he follows it up by trying to jump over somebody. And I had to watch the replay because in the stadium, it looked like he just got popped and the ball flew up in the air. And he tried to jump over. But in the replay, he shows he jumps, trying to jump over the guy. He knees the ball out of his own arms. And luckily, it goes, out of bounds. Maybe he was just too hype. He had some questionable returns. But again, like I said, every player that made a mistake in this game later on came back and made a play. He gets some
hmm
huge catches down the stretch, and ultimately he gets the game-winning 2-point conversion.
Right, right. And man, that Nick Marsh, I'm telling you, I know that Jeremiah Smith gets a lot of hype, and deservingly so, with Ohio
Yes,
State. But Nick Marsh, man, that kid, he's got it. He's
as I was
got
trying to
it.
call him, his nickname was Baby Megatron. He might be what's the new bad guy in Star Wars? I mean Transformers. Scourge. He maybe do Scourge of the Big Ten receivers or something. I don't know. Whatever transform reference you want to make. He was a man out there. And that first touchdown, he took that cornerback for a complete ride.
He dragged about 3 or 4 defenders into the end zone like a running back.
He's dragging one person, truck somebody, and drag the other guy to the end zone. And I was thinking, well, I think we might want to get him the ball because I think BC might be scared of him. And to the coach's credit, they featured him a little bit, but I don't know if you've heard yet about what happened at halftime. They did an interview with Nick Marsh, and he said, well, all these guys, they're the nice, respectful young man. They're very humble.
He's like, give me the damn ball.
Give me the damn ball.
I read that. Give me the damn ball.
Give me the damn ball. We come out of halftime, back-to-back bombs. Nick Marsh touchdown. Like, I think we should give him the ball. and because Nick Marsh was they had to say, okay, we have to double team him. We can't let him go one-on-one anymore. And we can talk about the offensive line in a positive light. Run blocking. They were very effective running the ball. Now, they weren't blowing them off the line and getting these huge chunk plays, but I don't remember too many negative run plays. Because last year,
I don't either.
Tackle for loss. Well, now we're 2nd and 12. So now we have to throw the ball. It was usually, Kai Frazier averaged like 4 yards per carry, and Tuss averaged 7 yards a carry. So basically, every time Frazier's touching the ball, 4 yards. So that's that 2nd and 6 is such more manageable. And that's why you're starting to see Nick Marsh. That's why you're starting to see Aiden Childs look more comfortable back there. He's getting time. He's able to lean on the running game. And that play action, near the end of the game, and shout out to the OC, because he got in his bag in the second half.
Brian.
The only bad
his name
call,
Brian Lindgren.
Yes, the only bad call I remember
Brian
is
Lindgren.
that fourth and 1 when they run like the Wildcat. I was like, they had to scrap that, get that shit out of here. No more Wildcat ever again. Every concept that worked, they played for it. Okay, the outside zone's working. We're killing with the run. BC had to put 8 in the box. All right, we're putting 8 in the box. We're going to double team Nick Marsh. You start double teaming Nick Marsh. All right, now you start seeing Krishan McCray get a couple of catches. You start Amari Kelly get a couple of catches. Okay, we can't. All right, these guys are kind of
Michael MSU'S, the tight end.
Yep. Then boom, play action with tight end wide open. Like, there were so many positives and steps from everything we wanted to see. It was such a good feeling to win this game, because I don't think I'd feel this positive. I couldn't. It's hard to see the positives when you lose.
Yes.
It was just a big time program, and maybe not a program victory, but just a big victory in general. Because hopefully, to me, I always go back to D'Antonio, because that's been the pinnacle of Michigan State football for basically my lifetime. There was a game, 2013, offense still looking kind of struggling, not looking like anything. We go to Iowa, and then all of a sudden, it just clicks. And that was kind of the game to say, okay, we got a little something. That, hopefully, this BC game is the start of, you know what? Maybe we kind of can have something here. That's what I hope. That's what it feels like.
Right.
I can't say that to be true, but that's what I hope this is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was thinking the same thing after I watched the game, that this is a good launching point, a good stepping stone for the program, because these are the type of games that can propel you to the next step, because easily, if we would have lost this game, it could have been, a repeat of last season. But I think that with this victory, I think it does give them the next step in the progression in terms of winning big games, number one. And then number two, when it comes to when you're looking at, further down the schedule, because, when we first looked at the schedule, I said that overall, I think this schedule is easier compared to last year's.
Sure.
There's no back-to-back with, a murderer's row with Ohio State and then Oregon. Yeah. And then I forgot who we played after that. There's like 3 consecutive games in a row. It's like, God, just no break. But with this type of victory, this could be a turning point to say, okay,
Yes.
when you start looking at the schedule and you're looking at teams that you may be on par with, like, the Nebraskas and, the Iowas. Iowa
That's
took a
the most of our
loss.
schedule. Like to your point,
Yeah.
most of our schedule is our I call it a group of our peers, middle of the
Right.
Big Ten. I know people probably say we're bottom of the Big Ten, but I think we're middle of the pack Big Ten school right now in football.
Right.
Can
We're
we
right there with the
can we beat our peers? Can we beat our peer group? Can we go
right.
mostly win those games for our peer group, the 50-50 games we call them?
Right. Right. Then, at Nebraska, at Iowa. Um I don't know if UCLA won yesterday, but UCLA
No, they
um
didn't. They
they
lost to
lost.
UNLV.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
So that game is looking
Well,
more like not more of a toss, and more like a better victory. Like we got to win
I
that game if they come
better.
here.
Oh yeah, especially during homecoming too. But yeah, I mean this type of victory can be determine us getting 7 wins, maybe 8 wins as you kind of look further down the schedule and you kind of see the progression. And yeah, it's a thrilling win. Like, I mean, to your point, I won't say it's a big program win, but I will say it's definitely a big win in the sense that it's, especially for the coaching staff, considering where we came from last year and all of the things that the kids, the players went through, and especially with all the injuries too. Yeah, I think it's a type of victory like, okay, after they look at the film and see, where they make improvements at, it's like, okay, yeah, we got something here. We got something. And to your point, Brian, because I think, you mentioned this, in the message boards about Aiden Child sucks and all this stuff here. Okay, y'all need to stop
That's
that.
dead now.
You need to
That's
stop it.
dead now.
You need to stop it. Because like I
Because
said
this was the
last week,
game.
right, what other quarterback do you want? Who do you want? Name the quarterback that you want that you're gonna pony up 15 million in NIL to replace Aiden Childs. Who is that guy?
I'm very I've been saying it. I might change my name to Superman Spartan, aka the child's apologist, because all I've said
Right,
is he's made improvement. I understand you want the big play, the touchdown. You're thirsty for victory. I am too, but I'm not going to sit back and be blind and say, oh well, he missed the throw, so well he sucks because he missed these a few throws in the games. Go watch
and
some
what
NFL
quarterback
games.
doesn't?
People
Every
quarterback
quarterback.
misses throws. Oh, he had some guy open. He has to see that. It would be nice if he saw every open player every single time on the field. That would be lovely. But he's taking care of the ball. He's making great decisions with the ball.
Yes, and he's thrown 0 interceptions. I'm gonna say it again. He's thrown 0 interceptions in these
Nope,
first
and
two
no passes
games.
that look like, man, we got away with that one. That should have been intercepted. Like, no,
Right,
he's thrown almost every single pass has been reasonable. Yes, he's missed some guys, but he's completing over 60% of his passes right now. Like,
right. Like, what else more do you want?
well, he has
I
what I
mean,
think 6 touchdowns this year so far. Like, it's okay.
right,
He's a roller coaster, but I feel like the curves and turns are a lot more manageable than last year. Are there still
right,
some things he can work
right.
on? Absolutely. He can always
Agreed.
he can work on his pocket presence. Yes, he can step up. Sometimes he takes bad sacks, but all of that is an improvement for him. Thinking I have to play hero ball and throw this into triple coverage. I have to make that play right there. He's going
Right,
through progressions. If people say, "Oh, he can't read defense," could he read defenses faster? I'm sure he would like to. I'm sure that's the next progression we'd like to see. But he's going through his progressions. He's not just staring people down. He's becoming a more full-time quarterback, and we're seeing that with him with his playmaking ability.
right.
Because let's be
And
clear, that using his legs, this won us the game.
yes, yes. I'm glad you mentioned that because that was the tipping point between him and the quarterback for BC. Because the quarterback for BC was mainly a pocket passer. But when it came to those critical plays, 3rd and 14 and 2nd and 5, he made a touchdown, run, using his legs. So, like, come
In
on,
overtime, yeah,
to all
like
those, like, to all these Spartan, so-called Spartan fans, and saying, hey, he sucks. Like, come on now, y'all need to stop.
but also I want to say I don't think that represents the majority of Spartan fans. I feel like that represents the unhappy minority that exists in every fan base. Nothing's ever going to be good enough.
Right.
There's criticism, and then there's just, all right, I'm a lonely, low down person. I just don't want to be happy. I feel like some people they lean that way, and I'm
they're just happy and being miserable.
Yeah, like I
thrive
said,
in misery.
Aiden Child's apologist I am. Like I'm happy so far with what we're seeing, and
right,
the team is going to need him to be better. And I think we've seen he has it in him.
Right. Now, if you want to know about pressure, if you watched that team down the road at Oklahoma, now that's pressure. That was mad. That was mad pressure from the highlights I've seen in that game. That's mad pressure.
I haven't watched it. I know it's not an easy thing to go to Oklahoma, but whatever. My team is 2-0. We'll talk about them on the next podcast.
Right. Yeah, MSU was the only team in the state of Michigan that won this weekend. Because the Lions took a loss, Michigan took a loss, but them Spartan
Dogs
got that W.
Okay. I want to mention something. The kind of it was big. Alante Brown had over 100 yards in return yards. 2 huge returns.
Yes.
Set up scores. I believe they both set up scores. And I think it's funny because that second long run he has, he probably could have had a touchdown return if he doesn't cut away from his blockers. But because they got such a short field, Aiden Child's numbers don't look like he's playing that well. And that's how the game ends up being, 14-21.
Mm-hmm.
And the numbers don't look like, for the first half stats, box scoring, you would think Boston College was just completely just whooping our tail. Because their stats compared to ours were, it looked like we was getting our butts.
He's like, ew.
That shit was looking all lopsided, but by the time we're creeping into the end of the third quarter, basically we've caught up. We're almost even. I think they still outgained us by almost 100 yards.
Yeah,
but we're much more balanced than they were. So that's to pop into my mind when we're talking about the good Sparty, defensively wise, stopping the run.
Stopping the run,
they average like 2.2 yards a carry. Let me look it up. 2.7 yards a carry for Boston College, according to ESPN's website.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we did give it 390 in passing though, but we stopped the run and made them one dimensional.
Right.
Well, that's the step. That pass rush though.
It's a big one. It's a big one. So yeah, we got the W, and that's all that matters. We feeling good going to the week. Now our next opponent is Youngstown State. I think the last time that we played them, from what I remember, I think was the 2013 season.
No, I think I feel like we played them in the
you think so?
I think so.
No, maybe we did. Yeah, I don't know. But I remember back in 2013 when we played them. Okay, I remember we played them in 2013, the year that we went to the Rose Bowl. I think that was our third game of that season, where the offense kind of put it together. I'll say that game was the stepping stone to how we looked throughout the rest of the season. Because if I remember, the first 2 games of that season, we struggled on offense. I mean, the defense was scoring more points than the offense. But if I remember correctly, when we played Youngstown State, I think we dropped like 50-plus points on those boys.
I mean, that's 2014. I have to look it up. But yeah, we played them at least a decade ago, and we've dropped the ball.
So, right. And I'm not saying that to say that that'll happen this coming Saturday. I'm just,
it should, but That'd be our preview show.
Right. We will leave it to the preview show. This show right here is strictly, the good, the bad, the ugly. Ran back to the good. Them Spartan dogs now 2-0. So, hey, that's why we like it. So,
yes, sir.
Yep. So, cue the woodshed. We switching up our format here a little bit for for the Spartan fanatics and football fanatics in general. So, we're gonna hit y'all with another pod later this week. So, in the meantime, I'm Ken, the super cool Spartan. My brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. This is
Aiden Child's
our
apologist.
called the aka the Aiden Child's apologist. ACA for short. so we're gonna come back at y'all. Hey, make sure you check us out on all of our social media, TikTok, our YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, the whole gambit, and Facebook. We got it all. We got it all for y'all. So we're gonna make it live for y'all. So go green,
go white.
We out of here. Peace.
Peace.